To Sandyville, Big Z Sports has descended to Cardinal Country for another edition of our two-a-day series. Nick McWilliams, Daniel Adams once again, and Adam Sawecki behind the camera. Very hot day, as we've mentioned on some of these other episodes. Very excited, though, to come to Sandyville. Just a wonderful facility Sandy Valley's got.
Always great to come out here, see what they got going on for sure. Very nice facilities.
And for Sandy Valley, 6-5 last season, did get to the playoffs. It was an up and down year. We knew they had some holes in some places, but they really surprised us against Garrettsville Garfield, and really were in shouting distance of that first round game. Obviously, we know Garrettsville was one of those teams that's a perennial powerhouse, but maybe a little bit momentum then moving into 2022 after that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sandy Valley is a team that they're going to give it their all. They're not going to lay down, and we expect to see that this year too.
And some changes on that schedule as well, bringing in some very tough opponents. Of course, we'll be talking to head coach Brian Gamble about some of those changes on your schedule. But you do ultimately lose a couple off of that, Chippewa, Malvern, and TCC. So some close-to-home opponents that they ultimately won't have. But, scheduling those tougher teams can help.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Into Cardinal Country now with our Big Z Sports two-a-days. And joining us, Sandy Valley head coach Brian Gamble. Coach, very excited to see what Sandy Valley can do this year. And we keep saying this with all of our coaches we've talked to today. A little bit warm for two-a-days. Usually probably does a good job of getting the team ready to go.
Oh, it does, and I tell you what, getting these guys going in shape and starting off, full pads, all that stuff in the heat, man, it's what August is about, it's what this game's about, it's what makes it tough and what separates itself from other sports.
Coach, 6-5 last season, did go off to the playoffs in the first round against a very tough Garrettsville Garfield team. 28-13, you guys were really in that game for quite a bit of that contest. It's kind of an up-and-down year for Sandy Valley, but overall, how would you grade the team's performance last year?
I thought we fought it out to the end, man, each and every game. There really was, throughout. I was proud of those seniors and, proud of that time. And, I thought all the way to the end, it got really, the playoff game got really wet, got really slippery, got really different. And so that definitely played a big role in it. No hats off to Garfield, though, during that time. But again, I'm real proud of that team, and ready to move on to 2022.
Well, speaking of 2022, we do have to kind of look back just a little bit. You mentioned those seniors that you were very much proud of. Some of those now obviously departed, Ben Petro being one of the biggest names, Mason Tucci naturally. So some pretty big offensive production there for you guys that has graduated. But we know Nicky Petro coming back. We would assume he'd probably be your quarterback again?
Yes, Nicky's going to be back, and he's a junior, and he'll be our quarterback again, absolutely. We're excited for him.
And a little bit with the senior leadership maybe on this team. I know that the Cardinals last year had some very good senior leadership. Who do you expect to step up into that role this year?
Well, we're unique. We have a roster of 42, and of our roster of 42, I have 2 seniors. So that being said, it will be interesting for that, when we talk about our younger guys. Our juniors and our sophomores, the guys that have played a lot. 6 returners on offense, 6 returners on defense, but they were sophomores and some of them were freshmen. Now they're returning back with quarters. They just don't have the senior title. So age is kind of a number this year, and that's it. You know what I mean? But leadership-wise, our junior class is coming in hot and heavy. So.
Now, some of the schedules we went through with some of our area teams, changes will happen throughout. You guys added quite the gauntlet in 3 playoff teams: Akron, Manchester, Canton South, and East Canton. Some very tough opponents, but good.
Fairless.
And Fairless, absolutely. And some good opponents to kind of test your mettle with, I guess.
Absolutely, man. We scheduled up. We're the youngest team I've ever had. And we scheduled up, so I don't know what type of combination that's going to be, but I tell you what, we're excited for it, and iron sharpens iron, and we're going to get ourselves ready to roll, that's for sure, no matter what.
Looking at maybe your setup on defense, offense, what's been kind of your biggest goal this year after looking back at what happened last year? Where do you think the team you wanted to improve on most heading into this season?
I would just say, overall our speed and our tempo and just our culture and all that stuff. I think we always can evolve and always grow from that. Just what you did last year. You take to it and you try to evolve from it. So you talk about like our week 11 opponents. Well, we talk about where we were at in week 11 and try to start from there and try to go and evolve from that. Talk about plays wise. Talk about our practice situational wise, and because you evolve each and every year. But if you can kind of get to that spot so you can go to a new level, I think that's our ultimate goal.
Great, Coach. Well, we thank you so much for allowing us to come in here today, and we look forward to some Sandy Valley football in 2022.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you to Coach Gamble. Thank you to everyone up here in Sandyville for their hospitality around some Cardinal football. And Daniel, he mentioned a lot of senior leadership that was gone, or we mentioned it. Running back Ben Petra, almost 1,100 yards last season, 20 touchdowns. Came in at quarterback a little bit when his brother Nicky was dinged up. They went back and forth. So that's going to be a tough one to replace in Ben Petra.
Oh, yeah, they lost a lot of firepower. Mason Tucci's another name
Absolutely.
to mention. But, Coach Gamble said age is just a number this year. They got a lot of players with a lot of experience, and we look forward to seeing that.
Well, speaking of that experience, 2 seniors. Have you ever really heard of that? I don't really hear many classes like that.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but, that's up to those underclassmen then to step up and kind of adopt those leadership roles.
Yep, and although we are looking in the 2022 season, got a couple good years coming up then if they have that much experience then.
Definitely, and we've mentioned some of these teams before, and heck, we saw some of them last year. Akron, Manchester, Canton South, and East Canton running the gauntlet once again for Sandy Valley, so we'll see what they're made of.
All 3 great teams, and I know that Coach Gamble will not lay down to them. They're going to give it their all, and we might see some surprises there for sure.
We definitely hope we see some surprises. Always fun to see Cardinal football out here in Sandyville. That'll do it for another edition of Two-A-Days with Big Z Sports. A big thank you to our Sandy Valley Cardinal sponsor this year, Haas Body Shop. Of course, we appreciate them jumping on this year. Nick McWilliams and Daniel Adams signing off again. We will be back at a high school field near you soon.